Hey nerds, welcome back to The Letter. In last episode, a very bad tragedy happened and I have to stick with it. I've made my bed, so I need to lie in it. After that though, when this whole thing is done, I will go through skipping parts and let you guys see every ending of every character you can get, because I can find out, we can have multiple endings and stuff. And I'll also get the endings too. I'll get all of them so you guys can see everything. So for now, we must continue with his death. I'm so sorry for what I've done. Alright guys, we're starting here with Mariana. And let's first, like always, read her profile. Mariana McCallan. Her birthday is July 14th. Cancer. Yeah. 30 years old. She's 5'11". An interior designer. Former architect. She's Irish. Roman Catholic. She has a bachelor's in arts and architecture. She likes chocolate, cats, classical arts, country music, karaoke, board games, video games, anime, hey! And other obscure popular culture items. Yoga. Okay. She was left in a dumpster as a baby. Oh, my heart! She was found by a peddler and spent most of her childhood roaming the countryside in a beat-up van. Her father taught her how to read, write, and pray. Though an unconventional life, it was all she knew. Child welfare and protection eventually caught on and required that she have a proper education. She's provided a scholarship at St. Samantha's School for young ladies and was bullied for being a charity. Mariana only had one friend and was mostly focused on her studies, intent on graduating and returning to her father, ashamed that he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's soon after. Her work as an architect in Ireland lasted until Irish economic crisis. She moved to England, and after some time, the Luxborn is in search of a better career opportunity. Oh, okay. And I kind of forgot what day it said it was, but let's go with it. The numbers are so little on top of my screen, and they glare at me with such intensity that I can hear their accusations. I am late for a night out with the girls, yes, but I have perfectly good excuse. Jeez. Oh, I'm already starting this. Considering I didn't follow typical office hours, they really don't expect me to be able to just go as I please at 5:30 on the dot. The client is, first and foremost, my priority. I have to sit tight when my personal assistant, Chris, tells me we have a big one coming up and that I shouldn't miss this one. I have a feeling because we don't see her that much that she's not going to have too much dialogue. I have a feeling I'm going to be doing a lot of reading. He knows a lot more on who's who and what's what when it comes to these socialties, and I trust that judgment call. I really don't have time for rich people, their drama and their politics. These sort who were born with silver spoons in their mouth and who were used to wagering their silver tongues about. I let them handle the negotiating with them, for the most part. Why else would I have hired him? But he told me I'd received a message about it an hour ago.
Now, if only he has the full shilling when it comes to the
Oh, my bad. Come on, I have a social life too, to an extent. Sort of. Pressing my head against the table, I try to stave off an oncoming headache when the notification for a new email pops up. All I'm expecting is that, hey, this looks like a good project I found. Go send them a design, or something like that. Really, that's how it often goes. Even with these rich, jammy clients who heard of me from their equally rich, jammy friends, I can't expect them to hire me right off the bat. So this is before she was even hired. Which is all well and good and reasonable. We figure out what they want, send them the portfolio, my drafts for their projects, my rates, and hope for the best. This is a big client. Mariana, I'll babysit Berthel for you. This is a big client, Mariana. I'll babysit. Just please take this one project. I promise. This person is huge in Luxborn. The email is attached intended solely for the use of the addressee. If you're not the intended recipient, they have been sent to you in an error. Any unauthorized... Oh, this is just a one. Oh, I already read that. Mr. Parker, this is a formal request to secure the service of Marina McCullough. Hire after the designer. As authorized by Hannah Wright, hiring after the client for interior design work at the Ermengarde Mansion, Luxborn LX 18ORF, United Kingdom. The client hopes to have a designer there on 21 October, Friday with the time pending. But as I open the mail and see that I've been requested by the client specifically, well, I certainly didn't expect that. It's pretty straightforward too. Anyone else who'd probably be excited, they would be working with Hannah Wright. She's just one of those rich socialists that everybody loves to talk about, no matter how hard I try to tune out such nonsense. It would have been enough for me to reply an affirmative to Chris and leave, but he has never pleaded for me to take a project before. We've worked with these big personalities in the past, celebrities, bankers, and even a few politicians. My PA had been indifferent about those. So the question bounced about my school before I spy one of the email attached. A newspaper clipping of the Luxbourne Daily Business News Selection, boasting the headline, Wright Enterprise donates $2.5 million to refugee. I certainly caused quite a stir back then. Apparently they had invited businessmen and socialists everywhere in the guise of being some big business announcement.
$2.5 million and an expensive looking party to boot. These people sure know how to throw their money around.
Not that I should be so callous. They're going to be doing a lot of good in helping the community of people with those pounds. I, of all people, shouldn't criticize such acts, whether they were for show or not. At the very least, I know they'll be able to pay my rates. With the headline out of the way, however, I find myself staring at the picture that came along with the clipping. Because, wow, here I am, expecting a sour old woman in blazer and skirt. But the woman was plastered on the front, looked like she belongs on the front page of an entertainment section, or even, if I am to be cross, as the pinup for a glamour. Okay, I'll be real here, a men's magazine. She sure knows how to rock the dress. Wait, her hair, her eyes, her lips. She can't be her. And at the same time, she is her, only several years older. She looks just like... No, come on, Mac. The world is full of pretty blondes. It's just a coincidence. With a shake of my head, I snap out of it and reach for my phone when the buzzer nearly falling out of my chair in the process. Who else would be on the other line but a very important person waiting for me?
Oh, piss. I'm so sorry, Cam. I'm on my way.
That's what I say. Yet I still don't move out of my chair, face flushed and heart racing. I could only stare until I can will myself to repeat, yes, I'm accepting the assignment. It takes even more in me for just to close the image, shut down the computer, and leave. Even then, it has already burned its image into my head, no matter how much I wish it would just disappear. It makes me eager for the alcohol and the company. It makes me eager for anything that can help me forget. It's a good thing that the nearest pub is just a hop, skip, and a jump from here. Geez, what happened to her? The Galloway Shaw, as it's called by those who frequented the place, is the only decent Irish pub in the country. You can pretty much tell that someone is new if they call you by their official name, the Crawl Bar. And I home away from home ever since I've moved to Luxbourne. Well, that is when I'm not cooped up in my condo and working anyway. It has good alcohol, good company. Thank God in St. Celia? Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Good music. Crowd favorites like the Bothy Noise, the High Weasley Men, and the Second Fusion Orchestra are often played. Not to mention the singing. I love singing. Anyone could just break out into a drinking song, and the others in the pub were just wonderful that they'd start singing along. And doing so while intoxicated is the best way to go about it. Hey, it's a win-win, as long as I don't puke in the middle of the course, and as long as I can get home in one piece at the end of the night. And tonight is karaoke night. What better time than to try to sing away all my worries. That's why I'm intoxicated. That's why my intoxicated brain tells me.
The ghost of guilt and sorrow remembers who I am. And in the prison of my heart, I was my only slave.
Well, this is not what I expected from Miss Becquerel. But drinking only reminds me of my home, and the thought of home makes me think of her.
But in the depths of my cold soul, I'll leave the burden and despair.
So I'm guessing she was in love with someone? Makes me nauseous. It sickens me that the smallest reminder of her can cause me such grief.
I'll fight for what's worth fighting for. Forget the fear, forget the rest.
Okay, because I still have that crazy prediction that, like, those three are all connected from the past or some shit. What if the lady, even though if this is, like, my theory is on track, what if the lady was actually in love with the girl, not the man, like I thought it was? She actually loved her. Of course, that might just be the booze. Any other day, I would have scolded myself for drinking so much.
I lied to the Lord, I lied to myself, I lied to you and everyone I care, until there were no more lies to tell.
Is this the same one that sings in the trailer? I don't know. But I already have a client, and we'll be having our first little meet and greet in a few days.
Cowardice is easier than being brave, but at last I found the strength I lost to sing my love letter to you. 'Cause people can lie, but my lone heart beats true.
I want to at least enjoy this night, get over the hangover tomorrow, and return to being a prime and proper professional after.
That song was for Cam, our lucky bride-to-be. So give her a hand, Galway shawl.
Considering the state I'm in, one can excuse my smug grin as cheers and applause rise among the pub's pardons. Because possibly off-key public singing aside, I feel like I'm on top of the world right now, and it's a good reason as any of the belt out in front of these strangers. With good drinks and good friends, there's nowhere else I'd rather be tonight. And I forget for a short while.
And that song was brought to you by Marianne McCullough, everyone! A round of applause!
That was so good. You rock, Marianne.
Oh, please stop. You're just saying that.
You know neither of us can hold a tune, Marianne. A toast to our shameless drunk singer. May your drinks forever flow and your notes be ever lovely.
If anyone deserves a toast tonight, that's Cam. Finally sealed the deal after 3 years, eh?
Read 'em and weep, bitches.
Kamal's diamond engagement ring gleams as she holds it up for all the world to see. She has reasons to be proud. 3 years of living together, and her boyfriend finally asked her the big question. Obviously, she said yes.
Don't get too attached to that ring or the one after, sweetie. I was wearing a wedding ring not so long ago, and look at where I am. But enough of me being a downer. Cheers to a happy engagement!
Of course, if something's like Haruna's divorce were to happen, I'd be there for Cam. Just as Cam has been there for me, acting more than just my yoga instructor. I can't be happier for my friends right now.
Cheers!
Cheers.
Well, we both will be there for Cam, won't we? Haruna and I? Haruna, it's been a really bad year for her ever since her divorce. She's such a nice person, even loaning me money to open a studio, and she didn't deserve what her husband had pulled. I'm happy she's smiling again and picking out like she used to. I think we've all missed our Japanese firecracker. We met in yoga class, something I had joined to keep myself in shape and, well, honestly, so that I could make friends and I had moved to the Luxporn. Clearly it worked like a charm. And it definitely didn't have anything to do with the fact that I brought along my lucky D20 die with me on the first day. No, sir. I love these girls so much.
What about you, Marianne? You're 30 years old and you still haven't got yourself a man.
And you guys know I have a very busy schedule. I don't have time for that.
Oh, come on! That's a lame excuse and you know it! You need a man who'll take care of you and you need it now! Maybe some hunk who'll be your house hubby while you rake in the dough.
I'm quite capable of taking care of myself. Who needs a Mr. Right?
Hey, look at me. I'm Marianne McCullough, a lawful neutral cleric with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in charisma, but I can't get myself a date.
Yo! She in the D&D! I mentioned druids and demons once. Once! They don't even know the rules or understand what the numbers mean. And I certainly am not some sort of holy person. I am a far cry from a miracle worker, and I barely have the willpower to fight off demons, especially my own.
Actually, maybe she isn't looking for a Mr. Right, but a Mrs. Right. Oh, my Marianne, we still love you even if you're in the closet.
That would explain some things. How do you know you don't have a ring anymore? Maybe you two can be together and I don't have to worry about my best girls being alone.
What are you on about? There's nothing to explain.
But the more I deny, the louder they tease until other people in the pub start to watch. It doesn't help that all when Haruna drapes her arms over my shoulder and leans in.
Will I be all yours then? Will you be making me feel like a woman?
I know that they're just kidding around, but this doesn't make me feel comfortable in the slightest. So when Kamala notices my silence and Haruna sees the expression on my face, they stop. And when the awkward air settles over us, the rest of the pub goes back to whatever they were doing before the whole thing ever happened. They probably won't even remember it when they wake up with a massive hangover. Anyway.
Sorry.
Me too.
Hey, no hard feelings, right?
I raise my glass. They smile. We drink. There's no need to say more. We're all definitely far too drunk tonight. Eventually, the fun times end. It's a weekday, after all. And with Haruna being a nurse, she still has to get ready for her next shift. Cam also has a loving fiance waiting at home for her, and really didn't have to make a fuss about having left some buns in the oven while she took off early. Really, I understand. I was the one who insisted, who was determined to get pissed drunk anyway. Moving to the bar, I sit. Alone at last. Alone with a stranger! I haven't seen him here before, obviously not a regular. He hasn't said a word and just sits there, savoring his drink. With his whiskey served neat in one hand and lighter in the other, it doesn't seem like he's noticed me yet, and maybe I should go before he does look my way. Because he was pretty, and he was blonde, and those two things plus alcohol never did me any good. I thought too late. Judging by the way flushed face and dazed look in his eye, he's pissed drunk as I am. But where I feel like keeling over, he looks like he's just ready to take the catwalk by storm. Really, he just has the air of one of those men who think they own the world.
Hello there, sexy. Please don't stand up on my account. I already like what I see.
Okay.
Fancy a drink? It'll be on me.
Then again, I might be pleasantly surprised if he proves me wrong.
Want some between the sheets? Sex on the beach? I'm talking cocktails, of course.
Oh my gosh. Fat chance. But it doesn't matter. We both know how to play this game. And there are two different ways for the night to end. One thing or another is going to happen. The question is, what do I do?
Oh no, that's fine. I'd rather order some blue balls or some AMF if you don't mind.
He looks at me like he's about to say something witty, but stops himself and downs the rest of his whiskey. I order a mint julep. He gets another whiskey, and we start the customary small talk. Of course, they say asking me no question, and I'll tell you no lies goes without saying. We ask nothing about each other, offering falsehoods to establish a strenuous fake connection between two strangers at a pub if only time passed the time. Whiskey, as I have come to call him, is supposedly 21 years old, single, takes care of his sick mother and is managed of some sort. What the fuck? Manager of what? I didn't care to listen to the details. Meanwhile, Mint, as he comes to call me, is 29 and I'm, what did I say I was again? Oh yes, I told him that I was a professional chocolate taster because fuck it, if I'm going to lie about what my job is, might as well make it fun. It's a pretty decent chat between the two drunk strangers. And maybe it's just me, but we might as fucking well expand the tiniest amount of effort in pretending there's something meaningful in this meeting. Would have been nice too, if it was just left at that. But during a lull in the conversation, he brings it up.
You know, I've never been with a woman taller than me.
And to think of it, he might have been different from the rest.
Never have and never will, whiskey. Can we go back to the history of chocolates? Did you know that chocolate candy was introduced in 19th century England as a healthier alternative to alcohol?
St. Lucy was the most beautiful woman of her time. She had men come to her four corners of the world just to see the pure light of her extinguished green eyes. If she were so lucky, anyway.
No, enough of the history lesson. Come on, Mint. You know and I know what you came here for.
Though not very suitor of Gallant, and she was no fool, she had known that sooner or later she wouldn't have been able to defend her chastity.
Come on. There must be something that gets you going.
So she had taken out a knife and gouged out her own eyes.
There is something, but I don't think you can handle it.
Impressed with her devotion, God restored her eyes and made them more beautiful than before. He has a particular sense of humor, hadn't he? Because the only meant suitors kept going after Lucy, and she kept her eyes in a chalice to scare them away.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I can handle whatever it is.
Saint Lucy, help me. Help me turn away from sin. Help me with my own blindness.
My place isn't too far from here. I won't take care of you if it ends up being too much for you.
Oh no! No!
And no one will be able to hear you if you try to scream. You sure you want to go down that road, pretty boy?
Wouldn't have it any other way.
No! The best thing about my condo so close to the pub is ease of access. As long as I can stand and walk, I can make it home. Maybe I need help from a kind neighbor or two to help me with my last leg if I've really gone overboard on alcohol. But I always made it home. Sometimes with company. Of course, that always comes with complications, especially with the really clingy ones. But it isn't anything good to tip about stalkers to the building security can't fix. I'm always nervous though, even if he isn't the first time I've done this. In the first few minutes, we try to enter the room, and the first few agonizing minutes where I try not to panic. Okay, Mac, so far so good. Don't let him smell your fear under your liquid courage. He'll leave sooner or later, and I'll have to see him again, just like every other man before him. I'd like to say to myself the men I've brought to my place were more scared than I was. Yet, there is no fear, and when I look into Whiskey eyes, only delight. When he starts touching me, I don't ever hesitate when I push him against the door. Roughness is to be expected. And as long as he sticks to the script, everything will go smoothly. We'll have our little tumble in the sheets, he'll leave, we'll forget about it. If somebody asked what I really wanted, I would have told him that I wanted a bed of roses, chocolate, and music, maybe an Irish castle. But all I really want is her. And that's never going to be reality. That was my fault, of course. Because I was afraid. Because I was a coward. They would never hold a candle up to her. She was the light of my life. And I had to let her go. I can't believe I can't be bothered at the thought of her. Just the single thought of her makes my resolve to see this affair through waver.
Wait.
What is it now?
Yes, what is it now? What is going on, Mariana? To sex or not to sex? No! Not with him!
We're both drunk.
Did it go up? What was it before?
And?
This is wrong. Don't you think it's a bit fucked up that we're about to have sex and we're just calling each other by the drinks that we had? How messed up are we?
Doll, shut up with the ethics and morality talk. It is seriously putting me out of the mood.
If you want to leave now, Whiskey, I understand. I mean, with how smashed you are, it'd probably be best for you to sleep the night unless you want to be mugged. But I won't stop you. And this isn't going to happen.
Bloody hell.
Of course, he's annoyed at me for putting off our nights of sexual congress. But no means no. And beyond spewing of profanities under our breath, he deprivingly simmers down soon enough. I was worried for a moment that he might try to force something. Instead, he makes a show of fixing his suit, smoothing out his hair before making himself comfortable on the nearest seat he could find.
What are you doing then? You have a guest in your home. Put the damn kettle on. Dandelion tea if you have it. But I suppose all you have are those shitty tea bags from the store.
Get the fuck out of my house! If it isn't for the absurdity of the turn of events, I would have flipped him off for thinking I have no taste. But in the end, I just laugh. All I got are cans of Korean ginseng and lemon balm though, no dandelion. Without a second thought, I do wet the tea. That's 3 minutes to get the kettle to boil. 3 minutes where we say nothing to each other. I mean, what do you even say to a guy I was going to sleep with until I changed my mind? I doubt he's in the mood to talk the influence of Troy's and Mallory. It's still unusual by the time we're both seated in my bed, with mug tea in hand.
Just so you know, whatever is going on right now is a lot stranger and fucked up than the one night stand.
We are two messed up individuals by your logic.
Everything is messed up, if you ask me. War, terrorism, famine, poverty, loved ones and loved lost. Oh, this whole world is a cesspool.
The dead air is telling me when it fills the room once more. One would think that this is the perfect time to burst, to spill out whatever issue that may have fucked us up in person that we are today. And it is. But I guess some part of me would rather not put the weight of the problems on somebody else's shoulder. It wouldn't be fair to leave that person when I don't even know if we'll see each other again. Sooner rather than later, we both passed out on bed, mugs left for gone on the floor. When I wake, whiskey's already gone. The bottle of painkillers and a note on the table are the only evidence that I was left alone last night. Thanks for the tea, Marina. Whiskey. Oh. I say her name differently every time. I don't even question where those were from, or just how he knew my real name. I'm just grateful for something to help with the hangover. Might as well. I have a job to do. Alright guys, I'm gonna end it there. It was a shorter episode, and we definitely learned some things about Mariana that I did not expect to happen at any point. So she's very outgoing, but at the same time, she's very professional and shy. Oh, there's no way in hell I'm ever letting her sleep with that dude. I hope you guys are enjoying the episode. Please catch me in my next episode and check out my other content if you'd like. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great and wonderful day. Bye!